Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again with another recipe video from Whiskey Teacup. Today we're going to be making a shrimp curry. It's a recipe I've been making for a long time. It's one of my favorites and we make it at least once a week. It's really delicious and really simple. But before we get started, of course, as always, we're going to start off with a drink. I kind of just made this drink up on the fly today. I was told that it tastes good, but feel free to let me know if you don't think it tastes good. No hard feelings. So since we were doing a shrimp curry, I decided to do a little bit of like a tropical drink to kind of go along with it. We're going to be using vodka, topping it off with some cherries, moonshine cherries. We know I love my moonshine. We have some oranges, some mint, some basil, and we also have coconut milk and a juice that I forget what the hell it is. We'll figure it out soon. Okay. That's pretty good. Alright guys, let's get started by making our drink, of course. Again, this is a new recipe I just came up with today, so no hard feelings if you don't like it. I thought it was pretty good. We're going to start off with just a nice tall glass. Doesn't really matter, doesn't have to be fancy. Mine's from the Woodstock Brew House. So down at the bottom of the glass, we're going to do one basil leaf chopped up. Just makes things easier. We're going to do 2 mint leaves chopped up. And then we're going to go in with a slice of orange. I cut mine in quarters to make it easier. We're going to be muddling here in a second. We know I love to muddle. So we're going to take our handy dandy muddler. And we're just kind of going to go in there and get the juices released from the orange and the mint and the basil. And it smells really good. Nice and aromatic. Alright, so then we're going to grab some ice next. Okay, fill it about 3/4 of the way with ice. And then we are going to be taking our vodka. I think this recipe would actually be really good with a flavored rum. I just didn't have any on hand, so I always have vodka in the house. It's one of our just kind of go-to drink bases, and of course I have the biggest bottle ever, so I'm going to two-hand this one. I'm going to do about 2 ounces of this. You can do less, you can do more, whatever your preference is on strongness. So we're going to pour that in there. And then next we're going to actually take some coconut milk, just the regular coconut milk, not the one you get out of a can. Unless you want it more creamy, you could do that as well. And I'm going to take another 2 ounces of this, pour in there. Alright, and then we're going to take the juice that I decided on. You can play with this as well with the juice. I got a orange peach mango juice. And we're not really going to measure this. We're just kind of going to pour this until the glass is full. Okay. And then we've got to give the old girl a shake. So take a little bar mixer majigger. I don't know what the hell that's called. Whatever. I think I just said that right. And then you're going to flip it. And then just give her a turn. This is a lot more fun when my mom did this. Or now I know why she felt so awkward doing this. Okay. Alright, that's probably about good. So we're just going to take the glass off. And then we're just going to pour her in there. She looks good. Alright. Set that to the side. I'm going to take my moonshine cherries. You can just use regular cherries just for garnish. I just happen to have some of these and they're pretty good. I'm going to take just 2 of them. And then we're going to be fancy. Give ourselves a garnish. 2 slices of oranges. I like to drink out of a straw because I'm one of those people. And here she goes. Pretty good. It's not super sweet, but again, I think if you use like a flavored rum or something, it'd kick up the sweetness a bit. But if you don't like super sweet drinks, but kind of want a little bit of a tropical flavor, I think this is a really good kind of go-to base. And of course, I made one for Mom. There Yay!
we go.
Cheersies.
Cheers.
Let me know what you think.
Oh, that's delicious.
Is it okay?
Yes,
You
it's
sure?
very good.
You're not
Yes.
being nice because
No.
the camera's rolling?
No, I can take this back behind the camera, right? And drink
course,
it?
yes.
All right. Thank you.
All right, one good review. So let me know what the rest of you guys think of it. Alrighty guys, now that we have our drinks made, let's get to cooking. Earlier I said we were going to be doing a shrimp curry. It's a shrimp coconut curry. I've been making this recipe for a while. We found it online, but I've altered it a little bit here and there just to kind of match our tastes with it and play with it a bit. So this is what I'm going to present to you guys today. One nice thing about this recipe is if you don't like seafood or you're not feeling shrimp one night, you could do it with a white fish. Or if you don't want seafood at all, you could do it with chicken. And if you don't eat meat or you're vegetarian or vegan actually, you could also do this recipe with tofu. I've tried it that way as well. And each way has worked. If you're going to be making it those ways, just shoot me a message on the blog and I'll walk you through the steps to use a different protein. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to be doing it how I basically always do it, which is with the shrimp. Okay, so first things first, you're going to take a pound of peeled shrimp and we're going to have it in a container like this, probably one with a lid. It just makes it easier because we're doing a marinade. Actually, probably do this the night before if you want a really good marinade on whatever protein you're using. The recipe, usually the way I do it, is about an hour before I really want to start cooking. I get the marinade on the shrimp, and the marinade is going to be 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Pour right on there. And then we have a 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, regular pepper, and salt. And just kind of dump it right in there. And then you're just going to grab something to mix her up with. Give her a little toss. Make sure all the shrimp is coated with the seasoning and the lemon juice. And then basically from here we're going to pop the lid back on and pop her in the fridge. And again, you can do this the night before, or usually the way I do it is I do about an hour before I want to really start cooking things. Alright, I already had a critic's review wondering why you have to stir it if you're going to put it in something with a lid. Why can't you just shake it? So you know what? We can just shake it. So if you'd rather do it this way, that's totally fine too. Once you got it all shaken or stirred, whichever way you like it, put the lid on it and pop it in the fridge for about an hour or overnight. Alright, we're going to do a quick overview of our ingredients. Hey, you can't make that face at me while you're pointing as well. We're going to do a quick overview of our ingredients to get the rest of this recipe started. Okay, so I have our onions and garlic, 1 onion and 3 cloves of garlic. I have a spice mix. There's about 6 spices in here. I'm going to go over those in a moment. I have a can of whole coconut milk, the fat and the liquid. And then I also have a can of crushed tomatoes as well. And then a little bit more lemon juice. This is the coconut oil. And then we also have a tablespoon of coconut oil that we're going to put in the pan to get it ready to saute. Alright guys, to make myself another drink. Of course, while we're waiting for our shrimp to marinate. Now that it's been about an hour, we're going to head over to our stove and get started with the next step. We're going to go ahead and get, I would say, a pretty decently sized saucepan heated up for us. A lot of sauce is going to be going in here, so you want the room. We're going to start off with that tablespoon of coconut oil. If you don't have coconut oil on hand, which I have not sometimes, just olive oil is totally fine. Next, we're going to be adding our, once that's heated, we're going to be adding our onions and garlic. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Okay, kind of give them a little swirl, coat them with the coconut oil, and basically what we want to see here is we want to cook these down a bit. So we want our onions to get nice and translucent, my favorite word, apparently I say that a lot. And then once they cut, so about 2 to 3 minutes I'd say, on a medium-high heat. Hola, bitches! You may be wondering why I'm wearing a set of sunglasses. Mostly because these onions, I don't know what's wrong with these onions. I have never in my entire life encountered onions this strong, but they are burning my eye sockets. So I'm trying to give myself a little bit of protection. I know it seems goofy, but if you are cutting an onion and it's making you cry, your first level of defense is a pair of shades. So even me cooking them right now is pretty intense. I basically have run everyone else out of this house. I just picked these onions up at my local grocery store. I don't know what happened. But anyways, moving on. Alright guys, she's looking about good. She's browning up a bit. She's got a nice color on her. This was our onions and our garlic. And now we're going to talk about the spice mix that I made for this recipe. It is going to be 1 tablespoon of ginger. It can be fresh or it can be dried. It doesn't matter. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. Half a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of turmeric. And 2 teaspoons of ground coriander. And 1 teaspoon of curry powder. I will definitely have all of this laid out in my recipe, but usually what I like to do, I like to get all those 6 spices mixed up in here and just kind of mix them together. And then when we go to start to cook in the pan, they're already ready to go. We don't have to do like a bunch of different spices at one time. All right, guys, we're gonna add that spice mix in there with our onions and our garlic. It's gonna be luxuriously aromatic. I'm excited. Anyone who likes Indian food or curry, this is, you know, the vibe. It's amazing. All these spices, all the turmeric, all the curry. Oh, it smells so good. So once we do that, I'd say about
I can smell those spices all the way over here.
Right? Don't they smell good?
They are delicious.
Delicious. All right. So we're just trying to kind of, again, release those aromas, get the spices activated, and then we're going to go in with our next step. Okay, so once all the spices are looking good, we're going to go in with our liquids, which is the coconut milk. I'm just going to dump it right in there. Sizzle, sizzle. Okay, and then we got our tomatoes. Diced tomatoes. And also, I've done this just like a lazy girl hack. Occasionally when I want to make this and I haven't been to the grocery store, so I don't have all the proper ingredients, I have definitely made this with marinara sauce I've had on hand, and it tastes just as good. And I've also just made this if I have enough tomatoes in the fridge. I just chop up the tomatoes myself. Really, I've done it a couple different ways. It changes the flavor a little bit, but not a ton. It's still really good. So once we have those liquids in there, we're just going to give this a good stir to get everything combined. And it's already looking freaking gorgeous. I love a good curry. It gets me so excited. Woo, curry! Okay, so once you have everything kind of mixed up and gorgeous, you're going to turn the heat up a bit. I would say to a medium-high heat again. Once everything's mixed, we're going to want to bring this to a boil. And once it's boiling, we're going to kind of let it boil down a bit for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to go in and add our shrimp, the best part, or whatever protein that you're using. Alright everybody, so we got the sauce where we want it. We had it boiling for about 5 minutes. It has definitely reduced a bit, which is good. That's what you want to see. It has a nice thick consistency, which is what you want out of a good curry. We're going to take our shrimp that we put in the fridge earlier to marinate. She looks gorgeous, so let's go ahead and dump her in the sauce. And it really is probably, shrimp usually cooks pretty quick, so this shouldn't take you too long. I did turn down the heat a little bit. You don't really want it boiling anymore. I'd say like a low medium heat. And then just get the shrimp in there with all the juices with the marinade as well. Don't get rid of those juices. Ooh, try not to make a mess. Spillage. Which one of the things that I'm really good at in this life is making a mess. It's what I do best. Alright, so we got the shrimp in here. And we just want to stir it around. Get it all coated with our curry sauce. And once you kind of get it all coated and stirred around, like I said, it'll cook pretty quick. I have it on a medium-low heat. I like my curry to kind of simmer for a bit, especially with the shrimp in it. Moral of the story is, the longer it simmers, the better flavor it's going to have. I really love this sauce next day, so sometimes I make a big batch of it so I can eat it the night of, and then I can eat it for lunch later on. And once kind of all the spices and the marinades kind of mix together and get all gorgeous and beautiful, it's really fabulous. Okay, so while that's finishing up, it's a good time to think about what you want to serve this over. I typically serve it over rice. I have also served it over potatoes, but really just whatever you're feeling. Also, if you're kind of on a gluten-free or keto diet or something like that, it's also really good with cauliflower rice. I've done it that way as well. Today we're going to do a basmati rice because that's really my favorite. Mama loves herself some rice. So we have some water boiling. We're going to get that going while the sauce finishes up cooking the shrimp. All right, y'all. She looks good. Our shrimp is cooked down. We had it on a low simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. You could even do a little bit longer. And again, like I said, this tastes delicious next day. So basically what we're going to do now, all of our rice is cooked and ready to go, and we're going to do a little plating. Alright guys, we're all plated up. She's looking friggin' awesome. I just have the rice and I have our delicious shrimp curry. The only thing I really like to do to garnish this is I like to drizzle it with a little bit of honey, which I know sounds weird, but don't knock it till you try it. So I just kind of take it and just little sway, little circle, and we're done. Okay, alright. And she is ready to be devoured. But, of course, not of course, but, okay, that's that real quick. Okay, fine, alright. She's ready! But we can't finish off this video without finishing our fun time with a shot, because we did a shot last time, which was a good time, so let's do a shot again. So I'm going to bring my mom back on for this.
Okay, I'm ready.
My shot buddy! Do you like my
Shots!
spooky shot glasses I'm forcing you to drink out of?
Yes,
today?
they are little spooky spooks.
She doesn't really like the spooks, but
I don't.
I try to force them on her.
Not really. I'm not much into the spookies.
No spooks! But I'd say all the spooks.
But these are cute. You must have gotten these as a gift from somebody. Yes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were a gift.
All right.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Another recipe done.
Yes. Bottoms up.
Cheers. Woo! Woo! Let's eat dinner.